What up, everybody? We have another freaking crazy week. We got regular men jumping into women's sports to absolutely dominate them and prove how stupid this whole thing is. We got Karine Jean-Pierre, the press secretary, acting like there's a 90% reduction in illegal immigration. We got Biden running for re-election some freaking how. And we got to introduce you to the newest DNC paid shills that are TikTok dancing their way into the Hall of Shame. Stick around. So,
here we are.
Hero of the freaking week. Okay, hero of the week. These guys deserve awards, and there's like 3 or 4 of them I want to talk about. The first one I want to talk about is the dude who still has 6 kids and is married to his wife. The Kentucky fella, is he from Kentucky, Indiana, Delaware? Okay, pull this up.
What are we talking about here? We're talking about the dudes coming into women's areas. I would say areas now, because now we're talking about politics. Now we're talking about not just sports. We're talking about poker, which is, I guess, kind of a sport. I don't know. Did they put in the Olympics?
It counts. Whatever.
Just everything is facet where they've said that, hey, we need to be inclusionary, whatever they're using. And I think it's coming back to bite women in the butt. So
the chicks are the one that allowed this crap to go on. They're like, sure, you guys can identify as girls. Anything can.
No, they marched in the streets for it. Inclusion and blah, blah. Well, now our spaces are now very inclusive, and now it's making a bunch of women uncomfortable. Who'da thunk?
Who'da thunk it that all of a sudden them dominating you is not good for you in the long run? So man wins poker tournament in Florida. Sparks heated debate.
Yes.
So why don't you read this out, Teen?
Man wins women's poker tournament in Florida, sparks heated debate. A man won a women's poker tournament at a Florida casino over the weekend, sparking a heated debate on social media. David Hughes of Deltona, Florida, finished his first in the 250 buy in Ladies No Limit Hold'em re-entry event Saturday during the Seminole Hard Rock Poker Showdown at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. He earned $5,555 for the victory after defeating Diana Ciabadan and heads up. The event drew 83 entries.
50. So he basically got $5,000.
Yeah. And I love
Perfect.
this.
Why
this
wouldn't you?
Tweet. Somebody tweeted this. Got third in the ladies event. I didn't run well when it mattered. Good going. GG.
Good game.
Oh, thank you.
God, you don't
to
even play
all the
video
ladies.
games, Tina.
And to the man that won it, don't do that again. Why not?
Why not? What happened?
I thought we were being inclusionary.
According to anti-discrimination laws, Florida casinos are not permitted to ban men from entering a women's event. Well, there you go. 5,500.
There you go. Yep.
Oh, okay. So who won here? Hughes' presence at the final table created a stir, and professional poker player Ebony Kenny said on Twitter she put a $300 bounty on him that was matched by several others in the poker community. The bounty reached over $2,000, though it went unclaimed. They wanted somebody to take him out. But look at him.
He doesn't even look like he broke a sweat. I mean, that's what women wanted, right? We're all on the same.
He just doesn't even care. Probably drunk off his ass the whole time.
And still won. Which doesn't bode well for like women who say that women are smarter than men. That's what a lot of women say, that, oh, we're smarter than men.
This guy deserves a crown.
I agree.
Here you are. There you are, sir. Your crown is upon your brow. Thank you, sir, for proving how stupid. Let's go to number 2. Who's the second champion for women this week?
For inclusionary.
Yeah, for inclusionary beating of ass. Nice. Okay, here we go. Bearded man smashes women's weightlifting record held by trans lifter. What they didn't tell you was that this is actually the coach of one of the girls that was competing and got beat by this dude, or was going to be beat by this dude. So this guy just went in, dominated to put that little punk in his place, I suppose. Scroll down. Let's read. Go ahead,
A bearded pro powerlifter entered a women's competition in Canada and smashed a record held by a transgender lifter who was watching on. That's right. That was one of the things, too. The transgender, while she wasn't competing. Steve and I get like, she wasn't competing that day. She was helping out. So she got to watch this guy
just smash
the record that she was holding. And at first, apparently, she got on Instagram and said that it didn't bother her, but then it did. And even admitted that she had an advantage for being trans. Admitted that.
What?
Yes, on the Instagram.
Well, scroll down. Is it in here? Maybe it's in here.
I don't know. I will have to check. I don't think so. Oh, yeah. Well, this is the picture where she's sitting there like on the main. See where she's sitting right there in the upper right-hand corner?
Yeah.
That was the video where she addresses it and says, oh, okay, I want to address the record, whatever, and talks about it. And that video admits that, yes, as a trans woman, she does have indeed an advantage.
And she had the record too, didn't she?
Had the record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go, ladies. Look, if y'all voted for this.
Full beard too. Sorry.
Yeah.
Full beard.
Yeah, well, there's no rules.
There's no rules.
There's no rules.
Just identify.
Essentially, honestly, I should go right now to some female arm wrestling competitions and just clean house.
Let's do it. I'll film it.
I could use some money.
No, we need content. It's no big deal.
We need content.
Yeah. No, we should because, and I think that the key to some of this just really going away.
Wait, hang on a second. Go back to that picture. Your crown upon your brow, sir. What's the third one? Didn't we have a third one? The Kentucky politician.
Delaware politician.
Yeah.
Indiana Republican Ryan Webb mocks left by coming out as lesbian woman of color. See, they are already saying it. This is, of course, the Washington Times.
Mocks.
Why? No,
why would you put that?
Yeah, how dare you?
What's the criteria that means he's not mocking? Explain it.
He's living his truth.
Right. He's living his current truth.
There you go. Why is it mocking? No, he's doing what is making him feel good and empowered. Yeah, she is empowered. Or
excuse us.
He said that he still uses he, him pronouns.
Yeah, that's right.
The best.
Yeah. And he's still married to his wife, Brandy, and they still have 6 kids.
I love it. And this is Republican Ryan Webb may look like a typical straight white male, but he wants voters of Delaware County, Indiana. Oh, it's Delaware County. Excuse me. Delaware County, Indiana, to know that he identifies as a lesbian woman of color.
Perfect.
The county councilman ruffled some feathers after announcing last month on Facebook that he has decided to come out and finally feel comfortable announcing my true, authentic self, even though he hasn't changed his appearance or conservative views in any way. I love how that they just connected that. Oh, because you're trans, well, then you should be a leftist.
Right.
I think that's why. You're telling people that it is a political affiliation instead of an actual real thing. You're saying that it's a political affiliation. Or you're
insinuating.
Yeah, insinuating.
It is with great relief that I announce to everyone that I identify as a woman, and not just any woman, but as a woman of color as well, he said in April 12th. I guess this would make me a gay lesbian as well, since I'm attracted to women, namely my wife, Brandy. Scroll down further.
I love it. Indeed, Mr. Webb said he is happily married to his wife, Brandy Webb, with whom he has 6 children. I am continuing to retain my preferred pronouns of he, him, and I am married to my beautiful wife, Brandy, Mr. Webb said on Monday. Jesse Watersman, she's running for the Muncie City Council in tomorrow's election. I love it. I honestly...
It's needed.
This is
Shame it.
Not just that. No, let's go with it. I agree. Let's go with this insanity because this is what it is. This is insanity at this point. And while women definitely played a huge role in marching in the streets and picketing and wanting this to happen to be inclusionary, I think that men have the power to stop it in the sense of doing things like this. Like, okay, well, I'm going to come beat you. I'm going to, have LeBron James join a basketball team or something, a WNBA team,
It'd be cool to go to because another one of them just won the women's cycling competition the other day whatever. And it would be cool if a dude would have got first place and then given his gold to third place.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That'd be actually, oh my gosh, that's really good. I like that. That's what has to happen because it's getting ridiculous at this point. But men have that power to, I guess you're right, make a mockery of it.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. like coming, like they don't change. I love how they don't change anything. They have full beards. They are just dressed like normal, like the guy at the poker game and the
what are you going to say? You're going to say it's not real? You want that legal trouble? You want that legal heat?
Exactly.
Oh, isn't it stupid that there's legal heat? You know what I'm saying? Like this whole thing's just so stupid.
I mean, you're right. There is legal stuff against it. Like you see, like even middle school kids, there was a middle school kid, I don't remember what state, that was actually, they were considering pressing charges because he misgendered a fellow trans student. A middle school. Ridiculous. This is just ridiculous.
This whole thing's just dumber and dumber and dumber.
Yeah, so I think that's good. When we talk about that it's a lot of negative stuff and we kind of get a little down about all the bad stuff happening, although this feels comical and clowny and like a circus, I actually think this is really good. This is good.
It's going to be effective.
I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see it because it's going to get the attention and the conversations that we've been so thirsty for. This society is thirsty for those kinds of conversations about this. And we're not allowed to have this side of the conversation.
Right, where we can just obviously ruin the whole thing by just doing things our way. It's like, okay, you want to play that game? We'll come win everything, and then we'll give the gold to the third place person who actually should have won. But I'll keep the money.
Yeah, I know, right? Now women will definitely get really mad.
I'm not that toxic, but I'm a little toxic. Jean-Pierre.
So
can you bring up this video? Go ahead.
I didn't hear about. No, this will be the first time I'm seeing this story because you told me about this, and I hadn't seen it yet about her saying the border crossings are down and everything. So I'm very interested to see.
Jeff, can you pull this up to prove that everything we were talking about? Where I mean, obviously, if you're in the United States, illegal immigration is only up for the whole year.
When it comes to illegal migration, you've seen it come down by more than 90%. And that's because of the actions that this president has taken.
That is crazy.
Now, why? You told me there's a reason why she's trying to say that.
Yeah, they changed something along the lines of the definition of what qualifies for illegal. They made it like not illegal anymore. So like if you happen to, so there was some strategic component that made it so that it was no longer illegal to do what's been happening.
But just in writing, it's technically they're still doing the same thing.
Yes.
That they did that with the same, that's all this administration does is change definitions of words to make themselves look better instead of actually doing things to make themselves look better. Like with recession. They did that with recession. The word recession, they changed the damn economists. Were coming out and saying, no, this is a recession. This is looking recession-y, and this is the
according
definition.
To recession, it's 2 downs and 2 quarters or whatever.
Right.
And then they were like, well,
and they effing changed it.
Never mind, not anymore.
I can't believe that. They literally just went and what internet god
agency.
That they went to,
Yeah.
right, and changed it everywhere. How? Yeah. And I guess that's what they're doing here, is you said they changed the definition of what is technically considered an illegal crossing. It's still happening. You're still going to have to support these people with your tax dollars. It's just that now we're not going to call what they're doing that word so that we can tell you that it's not happening as much as you said, or it's down.
Well, what's
90%.
funny is that even like you were saying earlier, the Democrat mayors and stuff like that, like in Chicago and New York City and all them are starting to be like, hey, you guys got to stop sending these illegal immigrants here. And it's like, well, you wanted us to keep them in all the red states so that you guys can win the votes there?
They had no problem when it was Texas's problem or Arizona, whatever the border in California and Florida. They had no problem with those states having to deal with it. But now when they're like, cool, if you're a sanctuary city, we'll send them to you. Mayor Eric Adams and Lori Lightfoot, 2 people who championed illegal immigration. And now they're saying, you guys, it's got to stop. Well, what happened? What happened? You were championing that and saying that strangely, they give these talking points. Like, immigration is what built the foundation of this country. Like they say all these patriotic
immigration
sentences.
with assimilation did build this country. That's true.
Right.
Legal immigration with assimilation and you deciding that we all get to think the same way. We might come from different backgrounds, but I don't believe in blowing people up if they don't convert to my religion and neither do you. And you also have to give the right to other people to think what they want to think. But now I'm even like, I don't even know if that's a good idea. Like there's too many dumb people in the world to just allow people to think what they want anymore. It's like, are you a person that thinks a man can become a woman? Yeah, I don't know if you're allowed in, bro. That's
Right.
kind of crazy to think that. Biologically, that's kind of crazy.
It's now they're feeling. I'm actually glad I think we were talking about this on the phone earlier today. Like, that was a really good move by DeSantis to start doing that.
Busing them there, yeah.
Yes, to these areas.
Remember when they sent them to Martha's Vineyard and within one day they had sent them somewhere else?
And they were pissed.
They were like, we don't have room. And it's like, what? In all the places that nobody lives in right now because it's not time for y'all to be there? Like
Right.
they can't stay there? What happened?
Exactly. Or they championed like, oh, we're so accepting, and they're an area that championed illegal immigration as well. But suddenly when it's on your doorstep, oh, well, we didn't mean that. We didn't want that. We didn't mean bring them here. We just meant that you guys should be charitable and let the illegal immigrants into your cities and areas, but not ours.
I love when they go around with the clipboard and they're like, hey, we just want to make sure that you're in agreement with like migration and like bringing a lot of people here. And they're like, oh, of course, that's the way of the future. And they're like, great. So we do have 56 of them and 3 of them need housing. So how many can stay with you? And like they have their hand on the clipboard like they're about to write, and they're like, actually, I don't have. Personally, my personal situation is actually kind of difficult. I'm actually my mom just moved in too, so like we're having a struggle. And it's like, oh, you don't have room? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I always say if you turn everything that's happening in the United States and make it into a small village type of thing, like what would happen if 100 people were in a village? None of this would be acceptable, dude. Like, oh, we just had 7 new people show up. You know what I mean? Like, like,
and we want you to build them a house and give them, you know, your water.
You pay for it.
Yeah, dig the well.
What's their background? Are some of them from gangs? We don't want to talk about it. Well, no. They're going to be around my kids. Are some of them from gangs? You know what I mean? Like, this has to be figured out. You know, but it's like they just bury it and don't mention it. Now we have Chinese nationals or whatever that are coming in horde, so they say. They've been seeing more 18 to 25-year-old males from China coming in.
Really?
Yeah, large groups of them. So that's kind of scary.
I didn't know that. I didn't hear that one.
I mean, look. Come on.
I know. No, they were talking about people that are on like terrorist watch lists from the Middle East were coming through, and they were catching them. So how many of them slipped through?
Yeah.
Who knows?
How'd they get the funding to come here?
Well, that's a whole nother story.
Right.
But the
Who
point
paid
is
them?
that, of course, it's being taken advantage of. It's not just people from Central and South America, and it's a lot of other people coming.
Right.
In droves. I think someone just got in trouble for a murder, I believe. Yes. He killed a couple people, and he had been caught like 5 times illegally
previously,
crossing.
right?
Yeah, did you see that?
Yes.
So that's what they're coming and doing too, because like you said, they're not interested in assimilation. They're not on the same page as us, but yet the Biden administration says, no, come on in and you guys serve them some food too. That's what it essentially is happening.
And give them a cell phone and give them $1,000 a night hotel. That was happening some. Remember that when they were getting $1,000 a night hotels?
You know what happened too? Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, had done that, like to try to show, well, okay, sure, bring them over here. We're going to put them in nice hotels. And what happened was when they got the migrant centers ready, they said, hey guys, we got to take you out of here and we're going to put you in the migrant centers. The illegal immigrants were pissed because they liked the 5-star hotels better and rioted. You didn't see that?
They rioted?
Yes, they were protesting in front of the migrant center.
Hilarious.
And refused to leave the hotel. They refused to leave the hotels.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
Man,
that stuff was
that's
happening.
just a whole nother level of ungratefulness, dude.
But the thing is that what this administration has shown them that you get rewarded for that.
Be entitled. It helps you. Nobody will stop you, and in fact will end up giving you what you demand.
And more.
That's the crazy thing. I feel like if I went outside of a company today, put on my blue wig, took a pacifier with me, put a diaper on, and just threw a bitch fit for like a month about wanting a free house built for me or something like that.
It
might get it done.
No, I
seriously.
I think you're right.
I just feel like everything I've ever worked for, you guys have shit in my face. It's not my fault the government made it so difficult for me to be able to generate wealth. And I'm on 15 medications and I'm out of 4 of them, Walgreens. Just because I don't have the money for my medication doesn't mean I should be afforded to die, you fucking bigots. 6 weeks later, cha-ching. And then they put me on podcast. Me blah, blah, blah.
No, they would you probably have a pop and GoFundMe as well. Like,
yeah, and I could have some medical transition money.
You'd have it all. Yeah. No, I it's funny that you gave that example because I had to I didn't immediately, which I should have. I should have, if this were actually not a clown world we're living in, I should have been able to say, get the fuck out of here. You're not going to get what you want if you go and throw a tantrum in a diaper and a wig. In fact, Ross, I think you might get arrested and given some time. I actually had to stop and think, oh no, actually that might work.
It actually might work. It actually might work, especially if I had 15 to 20 college or high school young men and women
picketing with you.
Picketing with me, going, justice for Sarav, which would be my cool, stupid new name. Justice for Sarav. Justice for Sarav. You know what? And you know who'd be the best people to help me with this to get my point across? Some paid DNC shills. Jeff, pull this video up. Maybe I'll hire these losers.
Choice for the 2024 presidential election is already clear. We have President Biden, who's a good man. He's passed historic policy, and he cares about the American people. But what do the Republicans have? Donald Trump, the disgraced, twice impeached former president, who's been indicted. He tried to incite an insurrection at our Capitol. He tried to overturn a free and fair election. Yeah, let's stick with common sense and not conspiracy. Let's stick with fact and not fiction. And in 2024, we're going to re-elect President Biden, and we're going to finish the job.
Finish the job.
Where's the one with him and the other kid? The other kid that looks like his little friend Loser.
Oh God.
God, these guys deserve swirly so bad, bro. Everybody knows it. If you were born 20 years ago, bro, Swirlyville would have been your life.
Yeah, now they just like,
you know what we used to call these dudes, the teachers' pets? Losers.
I don't even think those are teachers.
They're
pets.
shilling for the establishment. Guys, listen to the teacher. Don't you understand? She said it's bad to go outside. That means it's bad to go outside. You're not supposed to eat candy in class. You're not supposed to be chewing bubble gum.
I was going to say, it'd be like the annoying teacher's pet, the ones that aren't actually good at school, but they just are trying to kiss the butt of the teacher to get the good grades. It's not the actual, like, the nerdy girl that's actually really smart and just a little shy and stuff. But she's still kind of like, the teacher likes them because they're really good. No, these are the obnoxious, the ones that you just can't, they're cringe because they aren't very good at anything except for kissing butt and talking.
Yeah. Bullying's not good. I don't support bullying, but bullying has its benefits.
Exactly.
And that is that you don't end up with people that you don't respect saying loud stuff all the time.
Well, and look at the way the way they talk with such like conviction in what he's saying,
and it's fake, which is they're all DNC talking points.
Exactly. And they found out that these guys are getting paid. They tried to deny it, right? But they're getting paid by the DNC. So that's where
200 G's, I think, is what it's supposed to be. Yeah. 200 G's was supposed to go to an indirectly, it was going to the media company that helps them publish their stuff or something like that. Yeah. So it's like they haven't seen a dime of it. And it's just like, okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
I know how this works.
I mean, honestly,
how many times did you go to the island?
Honestly, I think nowadays they wouldn't even have to pay them actual money because now people just want that online attention because it's like, cool, just get me followers and I'll whatever spew your Democrat.
Look at Dilly Mully.
Yeah.
Dylan Mully. Yeah. Look at him. Yeah, he's all about that. He was chasing clout for a long time, and then they were like, "I'll tell you what. You fake like you chop your off.
Put this dress on.
Put this dress on. Get some facial surgery, and tell a whole bunch of men that they should become women, so that we can stop having all these insurrections possibly in the future that are going to be happening. And we'll do good."
I know. No, I agree. No, well, he was trying to make it in the industry for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. But no, I think that look how they're going for like these really young kids. Like, why would, I mean.
Well, if you remember, for a while there with Biden's election campaign, he barely campaigned, but remember he had like he went after Cardi B.
Yep.
And a couple other people like that, because that was like the spokesman for those groups or whatever.
Hi, Biden. Oh, I couldn't stand that.
And I mean, what's interesting about that is that like just shows like the culture. Like, who do you think your base voter is? Like, you think 50% of the population of the US wanted you to chat with Cardi B? You know what I mean? Like, tell me who was more rational, these kids or the Full Send podcast? Those dudes, the Nelk boys, dude, they're legit.
I used to think they were just like some, kids just doing stuff for internet attention, and that they just started a podcast and it's probably just going to be about the BS they do on the internet. But they've had some pretty legitimate people on and good conversations that have made me go, oh, okay. I respect it.
Right.
Good conversation. Good people. Different kinds of people. I liked it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't have a lot of hope for these jokers these days. I'm just nervous about everybody. I'm like, God, there's so much. It's so easy to be stupid. It's so easy to be stupid.
I feel like it's been like that since the beginning of time.
Yeah, maybe just people didn't take advantage of the stupid people as much.
I think so.
Like our high school or our school system, because they were like smart, generally decent people running them like 30 years ago, that it was like, you can't really come out too stupid because nobody wants you to like fail at life. But now like they're deliberately not preparing you for life and literally making you full of propaganda. You're like a propaganda Pez machine when you come out of schools.
That's a good way of putting it. That's a good
sad days, man.
Well,
homeschool. Everybody needs to homeschool, man.
You're right. And didn't Biden say recently too that, basically children are not your kids. They're like our kids.
Yes.
Or whatever.
He quoted somebody else saying that, but that's basically the big push. They're going to act like the first thing they're going to do is they're going to act like what they meant by that was like everybody should be our responsibility. The next thing they're going to mean is sometimes they're not your responsibility. The next thing they're going to mean is they're mostly our responsibility and you play a role. And the next thing they're going to say is they're actually our responsibility and you're allowed to watch them. And then the next thing they're going to say is they're our kids and we'll decide who gets to parent them. We're
basically what's happening.
Yeah. Like, I mean, if you say, dude, right now, in some states, if a child says that they are trans and their parents don't agree with that because their parents know them and go, no, you're just, you didn't sleep for 8 days before you said that, buddy.
Right.
You can call Child Protective Services on that parent and they will take the child because of the threat of suicidality that is touted as literature as if it's fact, and it's not fact. The transition rate is not what they say that it is. It's not accurate. The stats that they use to say you either have a dead son or an alive daughter, let them transition, is actually not statistically accurate. When you look into the details of it, many other countries have banned transition for children because it is simply not accurate.
The UK did a complete 180. Okay, they're more woke than us. Complete 180 like that. I was actually very surprised at how quickly the narrative just stopped. They didn't, I don't want to say they walked it back. They're treading carefully on it, but they're reversing a lot of stuff in quiet. They're stopping a lot of stuff in quiet. A complete 180 to the point that should make all of us here go, we should maybe pay attention to that. Why don't we look in on that? Why are they were literally like funding gender affirming clinics for children, and they stopped. They closed it out of nowhere as this movement is gaining steam everywhere else. Why would they do that?
Why would they do that?
Makes you wonder.
I think another country did it too. Maybe one or two.
I think it was like Finland or Sweden.
Yeah, it's Sweden. I think it was Sweden.
Yeah.
I think.
Because they saw the damage. Like, have you seen the Jordan Peterson interview with Chloe Cole? Oh man, you should. It's a couple hours, so when you have like a chance to just listen to it.
Does Jordan cry in it? Probably.
I think he waters up a little bit, but it was
good.
It was a really like intense moment when he did tear up when
I always love when Jordan cries. Makes me want to cry.
It was for definitely the right moment, because even I was like watching, I was like captivated, and how she was saying, how did she say it? She went, how was I supposed to know? And it just like you pictured her as the young teenager who walked into the gender clinic or wherever, basically being convinced that, oh yeah, you definitely need to be doing this stuff and cutting off your breasts, because that's what happened with Chloe Cole, and putting yourself in that spot. It really did. It made me tear up. And then Jordan Peterson teared up too, just talking about how they just kind of put her on a nice conveyor belt of, right. Oh, that's how you're feeling. Well, let's get it going. Let's make this faster. Like, those walking pads in the airports that make you go faster.
Yes.
Instead of like what it should be doing is we have to stop. and analyze everything about this situation, because this is nothing to just casually be doing and changing your life about, taking hormones and stuff like that. That is serious, permanent changes we're talking about here.
I think too that I was reading this one study or listening to this lady talk about, she was one of the doctors that does the surgeries.
Okay.
And I think she said that if they treat them before puberty, they have not had a incidence of a successful orgasm ever.
Right. And they never will.
Yeah. Like that's a whole nother level.
Right.
Like not only can you not have kids, we castrate you. We make it so you can't even enjoy one of the most enjoyable things in life, which is sexual experience with your
right
person. So
no, I know. And that's,
that's brutal, dude.
We look down on it in the Middle East, of female circumcision, which is they remove the clitoris, which is where the pleasure comes for a female. We look at that as barbaric, as absolutely barbaric. Why wouldn't this be the same? And especially,
what's funny in the West though?
What?
We don't look at circumcision that way for men.
See, I always have, but that's just
me. I don't. I didn't for a long time till we got pregnant with a boy, and then my wife was like, "No way," and I was like, "Oh, I had no idea that the part of the front of the foreskin is the most sensitive part. Like they literally take away the whole thing. And not only that, there's a lot of lotions and stuff like that, and face creams and hand creams and stuff like that people use that have that in them.
Yeah, I've seen it. Baby's foreskin facial.
Yes, like that's sickening. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, oh, so there's a demand for this. Congratulations, you're cutting off the tip of kids' ding dongs and then putting it in your creams.
Yeah,
you've reached another level in like whatever.
No, I didn't. I kind of forgot about that until you just brought that up. I remember seeing that, and I think people got weirded out by it.
Rightly so.
There was a Steve Harvey thing.
Episode.
Yeah, and that's the one that I specifically remember where he was like looking at the lady like, "What? What did you just put on my hand?"
Yeah, it's like $500 a bottle or some craziness. I don't know what it really is, but
that's an interesting way to look at it too, to keep encouraging it for the sake of like face creams and things like that.
Of course. I mean, it makes when you actually look into it, it doesn't make any sense.
No.
It's not actually beneficial.
You started going down that road, didn't you?
Yeah.
Start thinking about it. Well, we've done that and it's simply for the adults of the society's vanity, which is completely sick. It's almost like back in the day when they used to hunt whales because the blubber made nice lipsticks and everything like that. When we moved on to kerosene and no more whale oil lamps and things like that, well, it still made great soaps, great lipsticks and face creams that moisturize and everything. So, let's keep hunting those bad boys, even though it's were
a little bit brutal.
Right, exactly. So
yeah. Well, Biden's running for re-election.
Want to watch his commercial?
It's like, yeah. the FBI insurrection. That's what their clip is from.
Yep.
Brought to you by
freedom.
The FBI.
Personal freedom is fundamental to who we are as Americans. There's nothing more important, nothing more sacred. That's been the work of my first term, to fight for our democracy. This shouldn't be a red or blue issue. Protect our rights, to make sure that everyone in this country is treated equally and that everyone is given a fair shot at making it. But around the country, MAGA extremists are lining up to take on those bedrock freedoms, cutting Social Security that you paid for your entire life while cutting taxes for the very wealthy, dictating what healthcare decisions women can make, banning books, and telling people who they can love, all while making it more difficult for you to be able to vote.
Dude, the amount of deception in this is crazy. Gosh.
When I ran for president 4 years ago, I said we're in a battle for the soul of America, and we still are. The question we're facing is whether in the years ahead, we have more freedom or less freedom, more rights or fewer. I know what I want the answer to be, and I think you do too. This is not a time to be complacent. That's why I'm running for re-election. Because I know America. I know we're good and decent people.
Invest in
I know
America?
We're still a country that believes in honesty and respect and treating each other with dignity. that we're a nation where we give hate no safe harbor. We believe that everyone is equal, that everyone should be given a fair shot to succeed in this country.
Thank you for choosing us.
100 billion to Ukraine.
Every generation of Americans has faced a moment when they have to defend democracy. Stand up for our personal freedom. Stand up for the right to vote and our civil rights. And this is our moment.
We, the people, will not decide. God love you.
So if you're with me, go to joebiden.com and sign up. Let's finish this job. I know we can, because this is the United States of America. There's nothing, simply nothing we cannot do if we do it together.
Bro. I mean,
There's
it was
so
mostly black people, which is
Okay,
funny. I was
am
like
I-
almost all black, and they threw a pit bull in there.
I thought I was like, oh my gosh, am I like seeing this right? Or am I maybe just, I was like, am I just noticing that this is just targeted towards the black community, or is that just me?
I mean, there's just so many lies in that whole thing as far as they're spinning everything. They're the party banning books. We're banning porn and children's libraries.
No, we're not banning. You have to have a parent sign it if you want these disgusting books. That's what most people want. They want you to be, okay, you want to have this as a library book to check out? You got to notify the parents. See how that goes over.
Yeah, I don't know, man. There's so much deception that they're so far gone.
Taking away
Hopefully
your
nobody
voting
believes
rights.
it. I mean, $100 billion to Ukraine. I don't buy it. I don't think people are going to buy it on this. Who knows what's going to happen? He's not going to have to campaign at all, though, because the guy can't talk.
No, I was surprised to hear how clear he was there. I'm pretty sure it was AI technology doing all the
Well,
talking.
his first sentence was a little bit muddled if you go back and listen to it already. Like the first sentence was kind of like, I was going to be in America. And it was just kind of like, oh man, you couldn't make it through the first sentence, huh?
That was a lot of editing. A lot to make that look halfway decent. That, just in my opinion, I felt like that was a lot of editing.
Yeah. Gosh.
And just nothing statements, really just broad. No, they're trying to take away your social security. And look how much it was just an attack on stuff that is just not true.
Well, who knows what's going to happen this next year, man. We'll see what Trump comes up with. You know, it's either going to be him or Trump, you know, and if it's Biden, then it's probably time to move to the mountains, hunker down.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant out of the country.
Yeah, I don't think there's anywhere else to go.
No,
just
there
prolong it.
I don't know. I mean, if the whole voting machine thing becomes a problem again, which it probably will, because
Nobody fixed it.
no DNC primary.
Yeah, where they won't do debates.
They won't
That's
do
right. They
debates.
canceled the debates.
Why?
Probably because Robert F. Kennedy Jr. decided to jump in and he would actually hold their
So?
feet to the fire about something.
Why? Why is that such a bad thing? If you just care, vote blue no matter who, right? If you just care about that, why should that matter? In this country, we should be seeing debates. There are staunch leftists that have come out and said, no, why aren't you having debates? Staunch leftists who don't say anything bad about Biden are saying, wait a minute, why aren't you having debates?
Yeah. I mean, me and you know the answer. Biden can't talk.
Right. No, I think you're right.
Although I was impressed with his debate with Donald Trump. He held it together real good. I don't know how much Adderall they gave him right before that or
They
whatever
pumped him
else they
full.
gave him, but they pumped it. He must have had it on drip. Like he could push a button if you started feeling stupid. Dupe. Ooh, that's actually another, like who knows what, man.
Right.
But yeah,
When they get the questions.
But RFK is at least going to hold his feet to the fire about some stuff if they were to debate, and they don't want that.
And he's doing pretty well. What was it? He got like 19% or something like that. That was nothing to like.
I mean, he beat Kamala
ignore.
already.
Yeah.
I think she was at like 7 one
I
time.
can't believe Biden picked her. Like, I think
I
that really
can.
hurt his. You can't.
Oh, I
Why?
can believe it was like, look, it's the perversion of truth. The whole thing is about demoralizing people. What did you think should happen? The opposite happened. The opposite
Good point.
happened. Every time she talks, she says nothing.
a lot without saying. She says a lot without actually saying anything. And then just repeats the same. How was she successful as a lawyer? That's what my question is.
Well, I don't know, but I know that she was hated for a long time because of what she was doing to the people that were in prisons or whatever. She would keep them in there for marijuana charges and they'd be like, serving 5 years or some craziness. And she laughed about it when they asked her. And she was like, yeah, I smoke weed too, whatever. So it's like she kept people in jail for a longer period of time than was necessary so she could use their labor for some things.
You're right. I did.
And it's just like, dude, information and truth doesn't matter anymore.
Right. And that's what's really funny is that's what a lot of Democratic constituents march in the streets for. They're typing it online all day, all about the prison reform. And we need to, why are there still people? They let Brittany Griner, they traded Victor Bout for Brittany Griner, but we still have people here in America that are like on 20 and 30 years for a little, couple grams of marijuana. She is one of the worst people who has put these kinds of sentences on people like that. And you voted her in? You were okay with him having her as a running mate, and you said, I'll take it. I'll vote for her. Yet that's one of the biggest things that they complain about. The leftists and the Democrats really are on that, which I kind of agree with. There are certain people like, I remember reading a thing about a guy with a felony, couldn't get a gun, wanted to restore his right to the Second Amendment. In 1989, he got a felony for copying a cassette tape. That was his felony. So yes, there are changes that need to be made, but to sit there and put someone in office
who was helpful in smashing the prisoners, basically.
Yes.
Right. Which was the whole, and her parents were slave owners, or her grandparents were like slave owners in Jamaica. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
When you look up like her great grandparents or grandparents, they were actually slave owners. And so it was just like a whole nother level of like, what is happening here? You know what I mean? Like, this is just bonkers. And honestly, man, I don't know what's going to happen because I just don't know what's going to happen. I have no clue. I have no clue what's in store for the next 2 years. I don't know if we'll make it 2 more years, to be honest. At the rate that we're going, we are nosediving so fast. They're moving off the US dollar. Like, I don't want to end this in a super depressing thing. So the good news is that truth is like a lion, and when you let it go, it defends itself. Right. And Hunter Biden stories and all this stuff are starting to come out more and more and more.
Did you hear about the baby mama?
Tell me about the baby mama.
Okay, so I know this is in our docket, but juicy. I can't wait. I want to see what happens. You know how it's a big thing with the leftists and the Democrats that if there's a woman who's not getting child support from a man, a deadbeat dad, we got to take him to court and sue him for all he's worth, right? Well, guess who's been a deadbeat dad? Hunter Biden. He got or she was a stripper, a prostitute, whatever, got her pregnant.
Strippers.
Now she has the kid. Apparently, he hasn't been paying anything in child support. So she's taking him to court. They had to try to have the case thrown out. But nope, they got it. It's going to court. Well, guess what happens when they
You have to release the financial records.
There you go. Bingo. So it's about to get
$86,000 a month from Burisma. What's that for? How much? What percentage of that does she get? Oh, half? Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, this is going to be great.
No, and
honestly, the hero we needed.
was a woman,
a
prostitute.
If she's not going to end up dead, we'll see.
Oh, no, my gosh. I didn't even think of that.
I mean,
you're right.
Look, Hunter Biden's caused them enough trouble. I think they're ready to clean house a little bit.
Oh, my God. You are right.
The Hunter Biden laptop story was true, everybody. I know you know that, but you don't need anything else. If you want to see where corruption's at, go look at the Hunter Biden laptop story. It's bonkers.
Wow. I didn't even think of that. That didn't even enter like the lexicon of things that might happen, but you are absolutely right. I mean, look at the people that have been associated with Clinton. Like we're literally they're not even hiding it. People are like, yeah, there was a shotgun to the chest and we can't find the murder weapon. Looks like a suicide. So
yeah.
And everyone.
Oh, and they hung themselves afterwards.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that part.
Yeah.
And nobody's saying, hey, we need to look into this. What are we doing? Everyone's just kind of like, yeah, well, that's the way things are, guys. I'm sorry. I'm a little perturbed.
Yeah, that's crazy. But it's all crazy, which is why we have a show to tell everybody it's crazy. You're not. Don't worry, it's going to pass one day. And if not, there's going to be a weird war eventually that happens. Not because I'm going to do anything, because there's a bunch of sane people that are sick of the insanity that are going to be like, you can't try to take my kids because I won't let them call themselves trans until they're 18. It just makes sense. I think it'll all start to boil down a little bit over time, though. It has a way of getting real extreme, and then everybody's starting already now. The more that people like fight back about this stuff in a metaphorical sense.
Yes.
The less steam this nonsense has, you know?
No, I think you're right.
Well, everybody, that's another episode of the Ross the Boss Show. Crazy time. We talked for like 2 hours before the show. Some of that's going to be on here too to make it a lot more fun. See you guys next time.